Remind yourself of all the soap drama that was happening in Corrie, Emmerdale, EastEnders and Hollyo 10 years ago this week. Jason Grimshaw Ryan Thomas had a horrific fall in Corrie. Katie Sammy Windward offered herself as a surrogate mum in Emmerdale. Stacey Lacey Turner and Max's secret affair was out in EastEnders, and Rhys Andrew Moss discovered had been sleeping with his half-sister in Hollyoaks, Coronation Street, just days away from marrying Sarah Platt. Tina O'Brien. Jason Grimshaw had a horrific fall from scaffolding at the builder's yard and was found lying unconscious on the pavement below. It was no accident, either. This was the dirty work of David Platt, who wanted revenge for Jason mocking him. But when he saw how badly hurt Jason was, David felt guilty and called an ambulance. It was too little too late, though. When Jason got out of hospital, he told David's mum, Gail Hellenworth, that he suspected David of causing his fall. And then Jason shocked Gail by revealing how, weeks earlier, David had talked about shooting her. Devastated, Gail confronted David, who confessed he didn't know how to be happy. There was nothing sweet about the sorrow Roy Cropper David Nielsen felt as he said goodbye to his beloved Haley Julie Hesmond Helg 10 years ago this week. Charitable couple that they were, they had both been offered places on a trip to Mozambique to build a school. But they had to leave immediately. Haley got time off from her factory job and phoned the volunteer project, only to find out that one of the places had already been taken. Roy told Haley she should go on her own. And she did. Emmerdale, unable to have children herself, Perdita Heidsing, Claire Georgia Slow and husband Grayson Christopher Villiers have agreed to use a surrogate mother to give them the baby they long for. Their problem was where to find such a woman. Grayson was planning to look in America, but it turned out the perfect person was in the village. Katie Sugden offered the couple her surrogate services and Grayson was delighted. Purdy was less enthusiastic, but Grayson talked her around. After all, what could go wrong? Lots, as it turned out. Debbie Dingle. Charlie Webb turned 18 this week 10 years ago, and her family and friends threw her a surprise party. And look at her, she's hardly changed a bit. Neither has Lisa Dingle Jane Cox, except for the color of her hair. But that woman on the right, that's Chaz Dingle Lucy Pargeter, and she has changed. Zach Dingle told granddaughter Debbie how proud the family were of her, but that's changed a bit too, over the years since then. EastEnders Stacey Slater and Bradley Brenning's Charlie Clement's pre-wedding lunch was supposed to be a happy family get-together, but you could have cut the atmosphere with a knife. That's because what no one knew, except Stacey and her father-in-law to be Max Jake Wood, was that the bride had been cheating on the groom and Stacey's other man was Max. But this time 10 years ago someone found out. Someone overheard Stacey dumping Max and they hit the panic button as they didn't know who it was, so no wonder Stacey's wasn't smiling for camera. And neither was her brother, Sean Rob Kaczynski. Was it him who overheard Stacey and Max talking about their affair? If you can't remember, you can find out next week. 10 years ago this week, the Queen Vic was in desperate financial difficulties, and it was Peggy Mitchell Barbara Windsor who was battling to keep the pub open. Her nieces, Ronnie Sam Janice, as she was then, and Roxy Rita Simons, wanted to help, but Peggy preferred to cheat instead of playing it straight and tried an insurance scam. She got a bit bashed up and it was all for nothing in the end. All she managed to do was worry Ronnie and Roxy even more. Hollyoaks Rhys Ashworth got the shock of his life when he discovered Beth Clements. Sinead Moynihan, the girl he had been sleeping with, was his half-sister. Rhys told Beth to stay away, but instead, she said she had every right to stay in the village and started to get to know his family. Sweet Hay Kieran Richardson and Amy Barnes. Ashley Slan and Davies were determined to be together, and Amy's dad Mike was determined to destroy their relationship. But when he wrongly accused Sweet of stealing, the young couple decided to find their own place to live. But Mike tracked down Ste's abusive stepfather Terry Hay Connor Ryan and led him to the BB where the Sweet and Amy were living. Terry brutally beat Sweet, and Mike's plan to be reunited with his daughter backfired, as she threw him out.